Hello, everyone. My name is Abby, and I chose to discuss mental illness and the stigma these individuals face every day. I want to inform my peers about the stigma against mental illness because it's something that I watch happen regularly at my job, especially when we attempt to go into the community. It is common for anyone suffering from a mental illness to feel stigma. Although they're human, people characterize them as being different due to their actions or outbursts. Stigma happens when people define someone by their illness rather than who they are as an individual. For example, they might be labeled psychotic rather than a person experiencing psychosis. Stigma can have many harmful effects to those suffering from a mental illness. Some, such as feeling shame, isolation, hopelessness, lack of understanding, self doubt, and bullying. There's also many other causes for concern. Mental illness is also known as a mental health disorder that affects your thinking, your behavior, or even mood. Mental illness can be debilitating and cause problems in your daily life. Some signs and symptoms may include mood swings, behavioral issues, unstable emotions, withdrawal, suicidal tendencies, and confused thinking. In many cases, mental health disorders can be treated with medication, therapy, coping strategies, counseling, and psychotherapy. There's also many other helpful techniques to deal with the illness. There are many contributing factors linked to the development of the disease. Some susceptible factors are hereditary, environmental, and brain chemistry that are predisposed. There are several types of mental health disorders that I deal with every day in my job. Some would be anxiety disorder, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and major depressive disorder. Mental illness is specific to humans. It is a disease of the brain. There can be many different causes to mental illness. Some include environmental culture, brain chemistry, and trauma. And then there's some inherited traits. Mental health concerns rise when ongoing signs and symptoms affect your daily functioning. Signs and symptoms vary on the disorder you have, circumstances in which you're dealing with, and the factors that lead up to the diagnosis. People dealing with mental illness are subject to many negative judgments. As I previously mentioned, this is something I see when I take my consumers into the public. I have watched people laugh, stare, whisper, and make inappropriate comments to them. I have watched the negative impact of another person's words completely ruin somebody else's day. Mainly because people do not take the time to understand the illness or the disability before they act or speak. Stigma plays a huge role in a person's life that has been diagnosed with a mental illness. Serious mental illness is a double-edged sword. It not only challenges those affected with the disability itself, but it also exposes those affected to an unjust social stigma. Such a stigma can then deny these individuals opportunities to work, live independently, and pursue other goals. Stigma can also prevent a mentally challenged individual from seeking help that they need. I thought that it would be important to give educational information on mental illness and the stigma those diagnosed faced daily. I work in the mental health field and find this topic very interesting. We see people who are different out in the public and don't realize that our actions can actually affect another human being. So, how do we end the stigma? Here are some points that I had listed that I thought that were effective in ending stigma. Speaking openly about mental illness is not only the way to raise awareness, you can also educate yourself and learn the facts. One of the best ways to remove the stigma of mental illness is to understand what it is and what it is not. Understanding mental illness can make it easier to learn how to help those suffering, and also allows you the opportunity to speak up when someone expressing a stigmatizing attitude or opinion. Speak openly with dignity and respect when discussing mental illness, and choose your words carefully. Use respectful language, emphasize abilities rather than their limitations, and refer to the person rather than the disability or illness. So I hope you've enjoyed my speech. I thought that it would be important to bring awareness to the stigma that people face every day who actually have a mental illness. And I hope that I've educated you a little more. Thank you.